Just wanted to give everybody a little update on current state of Australian property. I'm going to start with a post Martin Armstrong did 3 years ago. It was January 2013. He had a reader send a question in, and he answered. The question was about Australian and New Zealand property. So basically, he said, my question is, I live in Australia, having moved from New Zealand in 2012. I have noticed that Australian and New Zealand real estate is still at record highs, even higher prices than 2007. Are you able to explain this at all, and why these two markets are not operating to your 26-year decline? Look it up, 26-year decline. I'll probably do another video on that. So his answer goes on to say that the core China economy took a hit, but not severe. China will still rebound, but Southeast Asia and Australia in select parts have not felt the real estate crash of the West, for they were not as highly leveraged by the investment banks. It does not appear that there will be a major decline in Asia before 2015.75. The 75 is the 75% of the 2015, so that turns out to be the 1st of October 2015, except the decline in prices there as United States and Europe melt down. He goes on to say that the prices in Eastern Europe will also tank. So 3 years later, Martin Armstrong touches on Australian property. He's an American-based economist. I highly recommend that you follow him. I highly recommend that you subscribe there, and you get daily emails for free. So he doesn't often talk about Australian property only. He talks about stock market, bond market, talks about politics, and many other things. But so this is what he has to say on Australian property now. The Australian government has now ordered the sale of residential properties bought in breach of foreign ownership laws. The anti-foreign investor property laws reflect the very high Marxist influence in Australia. The general perception was that offshore buyers were driving housing prices higher. Little commentary here is that the Australian government, being stupid, have decided to actually crack down on foreign buyers of Australian property, mainly cashed up Chinese, at probably the worst possible time for Australian property. As you can see, Martin Armstrong thinks that Australian government is Marxist, and it is. If you live in Australia, you probably see that, but hey, it's a matter of opinion. You may not agree with me. He goes on to say that, interestingly enough, our real estate models on Australia peaked in April and entered a three-quarter crash mode into the first quarter 2016. There should be a little bounce, but this will probably be just a sideways pause. I'm going to include links to both of these articles, and I'm just going to give you another article that just came out on domain.com.au, which is the largest real estate site in Australia, and that article says, after 3 years of soaring property prices in Sydney, house prices have fallen by the largest quarterly drop on record. Sydney's median house price dropped 3.1% over the December quarter 2015, the first drop since June 2012. The Domain house price report released on Thursday shows. Now, 3.1% may not sound like a lot, but read the first sentence again. House prices have fallen by the largest quarterly drop on record. This is significant, guys. Trust me. I'm going to include a few clips after this, so I hope you find this useful. What do you think? What do you think is going to happen in Australia, New Zealand, Asia, China, or the country that you're from?
Sydney's 3-year property boom is clearly over, with its sharpest quarterly decline in the city's history. The median house price dropped 3.1%, and unit prices in the harbour city also fell by 2.8%. Melbourne's median house price continued to grow but at a slower 1.8% over the quarter. It's up 14.5% for the year, the highest annual growth since the 2009 boom. Over the quarter, the unit median also climbed 1.3%. In Brisbane, house prices bounced back over the December quarter, with the median jumping 1.5% to a one-year high. But unit prices fell again by 1.1% because of record levels of new apartments being built. In Perth, house prices continued falling for a fourth consecutive quarter, although the latest fall is just 0.8%, so there may be some relief in sight. Unit prices rebounded, rising 1.5%. Canberra house prices finished the year in the black. The unit market also registered a modest growth of 0.8%. Adelaide's median house price grew for the fifth consecutive quarter. In Hobart, the median house price surged 7.9%, its highest quarterly growth for more than a decade. And Darwin's median house price kept slipping, this time by 2%.